Hey, so if you're on the hunt for a tutor, you already know the options can feel, well, endless. Today, we're going to cut through all that noise and help you figure out how to find the perfect fit.
I mean, seriously, where do you even start? You've got these big franchises, online marketplaces, free apps, private tutors. It's a lot. How are you supposed to compare them all and know what's actually going to work for you or your kid?
So here's our plan. We're going to start by taking a close look at a global giant, Kumon, by really understanding their method, their philosophy, and what makes them so popular and, yeah, so controversial. We can basically create a roadmap for figuring out any tutoring option out there.
All right, let's dive into our first section, finding your tutoring match.
First off, just to give you a sense of scale here, Kumon isn't just some local tutoring center. It's this massive, global thing with over 6 million students. We're talking more than 60 countries. That huge presence tells you their method has struck a chord with a lot of people, which makes it the perfect place for us to start.
So, what is this method that's attracted millions? Let's get right into what it's actually like to be a student in the program.
Your journey usually kicks off with a free placement test. This is the Find Your Just Right starting point, which, by the way, might be ahead or behind your actual school grade. From there, it's all about routine. You'll do worksheets every single day at home. Then, once or twice a week, you'll pop into a center for about 30 minutes. An instructor checks your work, gives you a little guidance, and once you've totally mastered a level, you move on to the next.
And this right here. This is the core of it all. Kumon isn't what you'd call traditional tutoring. The instructors are there to provide guidance for self-learning. What that really means is the whole system is built to teach students how to figure things out on their own by working through problems that get just a little bit harder each time.
Now, as you can probably guess, this very unique approach leads to some very strong opinions. So let's get into the good and the not so good.
This quote from a parent just nails it. For people who love Kumon, this is its greatest strength. It's not just about memorizing math facts, it's about building the actual skill of learning itself. And that's something that can pay off for years.
So when it works, it really works. Those daily worksheets, they build discipline and a routine. All that repetition creates a rock-solid foundation in subjects like math and reading. And as students start solving things on their own, you see this real confidence start to build. You know? Plus, it's been around for over 60 years, so it's definitely a time-tested system.
But, and this is a big but, that is not the whole story. When you start looking at independent review sites, the picture gets way more complicated. The ratings on places like SiteJabber and Trustpilot are, honestly, surprisingly low. This huge gap tells you that while the method is a game changer for some, it's a major point of frustration for others.
So what's going on with those low ratings? Well, here's the funny thing. The biggest complaints about Kumon are actually features, not bugs of the system. People say it's repetitive. Well, Kumon says repetition is how you build mastery and speed. People complain there's no real teaching. But the goal isn't teaching, it's self-learning. It can feel slow, but that's because you can't move on until you've achieved complete mastery. It all comes down to a totally different philosophy on learning.
Okay, let's talk about the price tag, because that's a huge factor. You can expect to pay somewhere between $100 and $200 a month per subject. That definitely puts Kumon in the premium service category, and for sure influences how people feel about the value they're getting.
And it's not just that monthly fee. You really have to watch out for the extra costs, which can add up fast. One parent actually reported their first bill was nearly $700 after you tally up registration fees, a pretty big deposit, and materials. Oh, and keep a close eye on that cancellation policy. It's often a strict 30-day notice, so you can't just quit mid-month.
So, if Kumon's whole structured, self-learning philosophy doesn't sound quite right for you, what else is out there? Let's take a look at some of the alternatives.
Let's just compare a few different models. On one end of the spectrum, you've got something amazing like Khan Academy. It's a nonprofit, it's totally free, and it's all about giving you the tools to learn on your own time. On the other end, you have services like My Engineering Buddy, which is all about personalized, one-on-one tutoring with an expert for really specialized subjects. And Kumon kind of sits in the middle, with its structured, subscription-based system for those core subjects.
And trust me, the world of tutoring is even bigger than that. You've got other big franchises like Sylvan, which offer more direct, hands-on teaching. There are online marketplaces like Wyzant, where you can hire your own private tutor for pretty much anything. And then you have tons of specialized apps that make practice feel more like a game.
Okay, we've taken a deep dive into Kumon, we've explored the alternatives. Now for the most important part. How do you actually put all this together and make the right choice for you?
Because really, it all comes down to the individual. The absolute perfect system for one person might be a total disaster for someone else. You have to think about what makes you or your learner tick.
So, here are the key questions to ask yourself. First, does the learner thrive with a clear routine and lots of repetition? If so, Kumon could be a great fit. But do they really need someone to sit down and explain complex ideas one-on-one? Then a personal tutor is probably a better bet. What's your budget? Are you looking for a free resource or are you ready to invest in a premium service? And finally, what do you need help with? Core math and reading or something way more specialized?
In the end, there's no single best tutor out there. The choice really boils down to this fundamental trade-off: a structured system that builds discipline through repetition versus personalized guidance that can adapt to exactly what you need. The right answer is simply whichever one unlocks your unique potential.